Hi guys, so this is, well first of all this is the wrong section here, but what we're going to do today is go over some GCF and LCM word problems. There we go. First of all, let's make sure we remember how to find both GCF and LCM. So, if we have 24 and 36, remember you can use the cake method to find both. So write out your two numbers, draw your upside down cake, come up with a number that divides into both 24 and 36. No matter what, if you're finding GCF or LCM, you're looking for factors of 24 and 36. So I see they're both even, so I can start with 2. 2 divides into 24 12 times. 2 divides into 36 18 times. Then remember you check that new layer of cake to see if there's a number that divides into both of those. And there's plenty. You can pick 2, 3, 6 is the biggest. I'm going to pick 6 this time. 6 goes into 12 2 times. 6 goes into 18 3 times. Now I check this layer cake. 2 and 3, nope, there's no number that divides into those other than 1. So if I want to find the GCF, that's just these numbers on the side multiplied together. So my GCF is 2 times 6, which is 12. So in other words, 12 is the greatest common factor, the biggest number that divides into both 24 and 36. My LCM, remember, is all these numbers on the outside multiplied together. So 2 times 6 times 2 times 3. You can group that. 2 times 6 is 12. 2 times 3 is 6. 12 times 6 is 72. So my least common multiple, the smallest multiple 24 and 36 have in common is 32. In other words, 24, if I count by 24s and I count by 36s, 72 is the first number they'll have in common. So let's look at some word problems. It says your local minor league baseball team has 120 baseball caps, 180 miniature baseball keychains, and 240 glow-in-the-dark bracelets to give away to children on opening day. These items will be split into identical sets with no items left over. Each child will receive one set of items. What's the greatest number of children that will receive a set of items on opening day? Now, you should be following along with this on the handout. I underlined keywords here that would help me out. Identical sets means they should all be the same. No items left over. It means I can't go, all right, well, I'm just going to make 120 packs. Well, but then I'm going to have 60 leftover keychains and 120 leftover bracelets because they have to be identical. So I can't just have some extra keychains in some and some extra glow-in-the-dark bracelets in some. And the most important keyword here is what's the greatest number of children that receive a set. So that means we want to find GCF here. So I want to find the GCF of 3 numbers, 120, 180, and 240. I'm looking for a number that divides into all 3 of those numbers. I can see they all end in 0, so a pretty easy number to pick would be 10 or 5, but 10's bigger. 10 goes into 120 12 times, 18 times, and 224. Easy, you just cut off the 0 there. Now you need a number that divides into 12, 18, and 24. Lots of options here that you might be able to pick. 2 works, 3 works, 6 works. I'm going to do 6. 6 goes into 12 2 times. It goes into 18 3 times. It goes into 24 4 times. And there is no number other than 1 that divides into all 3 of these. It would have to divide into all 3 of those for GCF for me to continue on with another layer of cake. So I'm done. So remember, GCF is just those numbers on the side multiplied together. So our GCF would be 10 times 6, which is 60. So you can make 60 identical sets to give out to kids on opening day. All right, next problem. Casey is thinking of a number that's divisible by both 17 and 8. What's the smallest possible number she could be thinking of? So, smallest, keyword, we want the least common multiple. Now that might seem opposite to you because they said divisible, but remember 17 and 8 are going to divide into our numbers. That means our number should be bigger than 17 and 8. So multiple, remember those are the big ones, and smallest tells me I must be looking for LCM. So 17 and 8, if we set that up using cake, what's a number that divides into both 17 and 8? Well, 17 is prime, which means I can only divide it by 1 in itself. And 8's smaller than that. So that means 8 doesn't divide into 17. So that means 1 is the only number that divides into 17 and 8. So my LCM is just 1 times 17 times 8. So off to the side here, let's figure that out. 7 times 8 is 56. 1 times 8 is 8 plus 5 is 13. So 13 is my LCM, the smallest number that you can divide by both 17 and 8. Take a look at the back. It says, every morning at breakfast, Joey eats 1 serving of cereal with 1 serving of milk. Each box of cereal contains 10 servings and each carton of milk contains 8 servings. Joey opens a new box of cereal and a new carton of milk today. In how many days will it take him to empty a box of cereal and a carton of milk on the same day? Now, there weren't any like real easy keywords here like greatest or smallest, but anytime you see these problems where they ask you in how many days will it happen again on the same day, that's always an LCM problem, okay? So every time you see this type of wording, in how many days, or in how many tries, or in how many whatever, will this occur at the same time again? Then that's an LCM problem. So we have 10 and 8. Let's use our cake method. Those are both even numbers, so I'm going to divide by 2. That gives me 5 and 4, and there is no number that divides into both 5 and 4. Since I'm finding LCM, remember that means we make like a big L with the numbers on the outside here. So our LCM is 2 times 5 times 4. 2 times 5 is 10. 10 times 4 is 40. So in 40 days. Now, if you're not sure on a problem, whether to do GCF or LCM, another thing to do would just be try them both. You can get them both pretty quick by using the cake method, right? And check which answer makes most common sense. So here we can see our GCF would be 2. So does it make sense that it will take him 2 days to open a carton of milk and a box of cereal the same day again? Well, no, because there's 10 servings and 8 servings, so that doesn't make sense. But 40 days does. So again, checking for common sense can also help you guys out if you're just not sure which one to do. All right, next, Janelle is campaigning for class president, and she plans to distribute flyers and buttons to classrooms. She has 20 flyers and 16 buttons. What's the greatest number of classrooms she can give campaign materials to without having any leftover? Okay, so we have to have identical sets again, can't have any leftovers. And greatest means we want to find the GCF. So we're going to find the GCF of 20 and 16. I can see those divided by 4, so that gives me 5 and 4. There's no common factor there. GCF is just the number on the side, so remember sometimes you pick the biggest number. So if there's only one number on the side, that is your GCF. So our GCF is, she can make packets for 4 classrooms. All right, let's look at the first problem on your homework, actually, because it's worded a little differently than some of the other ones we've done so far. So make sure you have your homework out, and you might as well just write this on your homework instead of on your notes, so you don't have to write it twice. So your homework, you're going to be figuring out whether you need to use GCF or LCM to solve these problems. It says pencils come in packages of 10, erasers come in packages of 12. Philip wants to purchase the smallest number of pencils and erasers so that he'll have exactly 1 eraser per pencil. How many packages of pencils and erasers should Philip buy? How many packages, not how many pencils and erasers, okay? That will make more sense when we come to look at our answer choices here. Smallest means we want to find LCM. So, what's the LCM of 10 and 12? Well, those are both even, so I'm going to divide by 2. 10 divided by 2 is 5. 12 divided by 2 is 6. Remember, LCM, we make the L. So 2 times 5 times 6 gives us an LCM of 60. But if you look at our answer choices there, I don't see 60 anywhere. That's because that 60 just told us how many pencils and erasers he'd have to have so that they match up and they're the same. So if you have 60 pencils, you would also have 60 erasers. That would work out. But they don't come in packs of 1 or packs of 60. Pencils come in packages of 10. So if I need 60 pencils, and they come in packages of 10, well then how many packs do I need? Well, 60 pencils divided by 10 in a pack means I need 6 packs of pencils. I'm also going to have 60 erasers, but they come in packs of 12. So I'm going to do 60 divided by 12 to figure out that I need 5 packs of erasers. So that means option C is our correct answer. Go ahead and continue working on your homework.